And yeah, I understand. Okay. Yeah, you can go back and do that. That's good. That's good. Well, I'll get home as soon as I can, and maybe we can hang out a little bit. That would be kind of fun. Okay.
Mr. Morgan, hello.
Hi,
Anne,
Juan.
hello. Hi, Anne. How is it going?
Yeah, I'm good. How
Aisha,
are you?
hello. Fine, everything is okay. Professor Chung, hello. Nice to see you.
How are you today? How's it going?
Oh, great.
How
Amazing.
about DIT 637? Are you enjoying it? Or is it too much?
A lot of, no, it was struggling. The amount of information about EAs,
Uh-huh.
believe me, was
Uh,
struggling. Blow my mind. But
okay.
but believe me, has been engaged with some activities here in my position, in my actual position,
Uh-huh.
changing some things. It's absolutely make things, some things happen and deeply understanding. Thank you
Oh,
for the
great.
quiet reading. But that absolutely, this is for
Okay.
you. This is for you. This is for you.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, Kevin,
Hey,
long
Sun.
time no see.
Long
How's it
time no
going?
see. Good. How are you?
Yeah, thank you for being our speaker.
Yeah, no
Also, you are
problem.
alumni. Okay.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Share a good story with our student. Yes.
Sure.
Okay, now speaker is here, then I'll be quiet, okay? I'll be turn off camera and I'll unmute, okay?
Still have 2 more
Yeah,
minutes.
Yeah.
Do you want to wait
yeah,
a little longer?
yep, okay. But no matter what, we'll start on time, Kina, okay? Yeah,
Yes.
yes. So Kevin, looks
Hey,
like
Kevin.
cyberspace assumes you have a million audience here, okay? Even Juan is coming from Mexico to listen to your story.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
nice. Even have one audience is good. I still remember at the beginning as a tech club, me and clerk, so it's fine.
Yeah, the original ones.
Now
Thanks,
we have
Kevin.
so many students.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Today I just heard a good story about Kevin from Clark.
Oh, he's the best one yet. Yeah.
Clark has lots of good stories, doesn't he, Kevin?
Hey, Morgan.
What?
Dan McConnell here from Professor Garris's class. I just received last week my book, My Remarkable Journey.
Oh, yes. Isn't that wonderful?
Yes, I am loving it.
So one other book that I recommend. A week ago, I went to an Innovate paddle where there were about 7 CISOs in the Washington area, and I've known 4 of them for about 8 to 10 years, and they were talking about CrowdStrike.
Yes.
And everybody is talking about CrowdStrike.
Yes,
and
they are.
The topic came up about how we have had systems collapse between COVID, CrowdStrike. These are examples. So it suggested that they read Jared Diamond's book. He's a sociologist, anthropologist, and the book is called Collapse. Now, I recommended this to our TAs, and I recommend this to any cybersecurity or technology professional. It's worth a read or a listen.
Okay.
So
cool. I'll check it out.
I'll put that out and check it out.
Thanks.
Hi everyone, welcome to our EdTC Invited Talk series today. I'm Kina. I'm so happy to welcome everyone today, and Kevin will be our speaker. He's a software engineer from Pinterest. Today he will talk about his learnings from Gen AI. Kevin, can you check if you can share screen?
Yeah,
And you can start.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, I need a permission. Give me about a second.
Oh, permission in your laptop or?
No, on my laptop. Yeah, this is the protocol I use this.
Okay, so maybe you need to out and back, I think.
Yeah, give me 1 sec. Yeah, I'm not really sure why I could not starting sharing screen.
Usually when the first time you start sharing, you need to out of this meeting and then back. So it will allow you to share the screen by MS Team. Yeah, so we'll wait for Kevin a little bit.
Okay, now we are waiting for Kevin, right?
Yes, we are waiting for Kevin. He will back soon.
Okay.
Because his laptop not allow him to share the screen via MS Team.
what's the case? You can get his slide, then you can.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. You can show the slide, then he can speak. Yeah.
I think we go back soon. Is a quick information. In this talk, Kevin will talk about like how some learning he got from recent Gen AI. So it will help us to avoid the pitfalls in the future.
Kevin, if you have a problem, you can send a PowerPoint to the Kina. Then
I did just Sunday. Let me try one more time. But in the meantime,
Yeah.
maybe you can help me download it to make sure.
Yeah.
Kina, do you have his slide too?
I'm downloading now.
Okay, yeah, in case, be prepared, yes.
Oh,
Kina, you got it, slide.
just but Kevin
Okay.
not here now.
Yeah, Kevin is here, coming, let me see that.
Yeah, he will coming soon.
And so this will be recorded.
Hi, Sarah.
It's me.
Hi, sorry.
Yeah, you gotta turn your mic off. Okay.
Just try one more time. It doesn't work.
So it that work? Or I can share the screen.
Okay,
It works.
okay, great. Yeah,
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Technical difficulty. Always happen.
okay.
Cool. You guys can see the screen now.
Yes,
Cool. Yes, thank you. Okay. Yeah. My name is Kevin. So I'm working for Pinterest since in the end of 2019. Yeah, really appreciate having this opportunity to come here to speak back to students. So I guess my topic actually is related to Gen AI since currently the Gen AI the LLM stuff is really hot. So all of the company, including Pinterest, they all want to take advantage of that. But yeah, I'm not really sure. There's a lot of really good use cases for Pinterest. Is also we're just starting to putting something together and then try to see what is Gen AI can give it to us. Sometimes I feel like a lot of people think about the Gen AI things that can solve everything. Right? So you just ask me something, I will give you an answer anyway. So it's probably not working like that. So this is the project, basically sharing from a project I did for the for the advertising team. So we had a very small prototype team trying to build something for sales, see whether can boost their productivity. So this is basically the project, the learning I got from this project. Want to share this out. So when you in the future want to also build some product related to Gen AI, maybe can, don't fall that pitfall what we did before. Yeah, let's just get started. Feel free to ask a question if you have any. Just a very quick introduction about what we did. So it's actually quite simple at the beginning. So inside of we use ChatGPT as a model. We also have other models. So we bundle them together. We call it Helix inside of Pinterest. So everywhere we talk about Helix, which means the internal LLM, but we leverage other companies' language model. So what as you know, the LLM model, like for example, like GPT, so they know a lot of things. Like if you're asking, I don't know, some question, they will give you an answer. Some of them very accurate. But there's a one, drawback is they don't really know some specific data about the Pinterest, right? So we are now sharing that data with them. For example, if you want to a sales, you want to ask what is this campaign performance for my advertiser. So there's no way they can know because all of the answers come from a pre-trained data. So this is data is dynamic. This is different by any hours, every second even. Right? So there's no way they can know. But this is a big use case. We want to enable sales to use with GenAI. You can think about some use cases like I bring out like a couple of my clients' campaign performance data, right? And then I want to leverage Helix knowledge to analyze like which one, why this is low, why this is high. Is there anything I can do with this data I already have here, right? Some recommendations or some suggestions, or generate a pitching email based on your campaign setting or something like this. But all of this are based on, we need internal data for this. It's not just a pre-trained data side that doesn't really work. So this is what the prototype, we try to find this point to cut in to see whether we can offer like more value to sellers, especially for internal sellers. So for this product, it's pretty simple. So the Helix console is a place that we call the LLM, and then we leverage. There's one thing called tooling function. So we leverage this functionality from the GPT. We have a big function definition. Is basically separate. Like, okay, I have a function 1, 2, 3, and what this function can do. Right? You can imagine like the first function, we give them a description. Like, okay, this function can help to guiding the CPC number from some campaign. And this other function maybe can guide, audience insights information from for a user or something like this, right? So we have a big list of this, and we have to bound this tooling definition with SLM model. So SLM model, when they answer a question, try to answer a question, they will also consider all of the definition you put in for the tool. We'll see, okay, you asking this question, maybe potentially I can leverage, some of the function call and grabbing data from your endpoint and then answer the question better. So this is what the function definition is doing. So, and then we define a big map of whatever the function we needed. Whenever the GPT decided to calling a function, so we build the API and then let GPT to call the API. And behind the scene API will call whatever services, we can grabbing data. It's not really important. But yeah, primarily we build this functionality. It just seems like quite simple actually. For me, it's like we just take like 1 or 2 weeks to build this. But this is quite pitfall we actually see from this process. Yeah, that is the next I want to share with you guys. Yeah, I guess the first thing is hallucination. Because if you ever use some LLM like GPT or something else, you probably will notice this. Sometimes they give you a very accurate information, and sometimes it's not. They just completely wrong, but the tone they said is like really like they know something, they are expert about it, but they give you an answer with the wrong way. So this is a big deal. So what I have put some example, especially when we deal with the internal data, deal with the campaign or something sales data, this could be a big issue. So for example, if I ask, give me a campaign metric for 1, 2, 3 this year, so surprisingly, they will give you a wrong year. So they will trying to grab the data from, I don't know, 2018 or 19 or something. I guess the reason is like you give the instruction like this, the GPT doesn't really know what this year is because they are based on the pre-trained model. So which means whenever this data set gets traded, they're still thinking about this year is like that year. So it's pretty ridiculous, but it makes sense actually if you understand how it works. In other examples, it's like asking a question and need a function call, but not giving all the parameters. Yeah, like they will fake a parameter for you. For example, in function call, I need to know the time and ID. Right? I only give the time without ID. So they will give you something like 1, 2, 3 based on what the definition you give it to them. Sometimes they give them definition like this parameter will have a format like the numbers, and GPT will try. They just sometimes just have too much, just trying to try the best to guess what this parameter may be. But this is work with some scenario, but for the real data, it definitely doesn't work. So they guess 1, 2, 3 is okay because there's no ID like that. But sometimes if they guess like a too real, but it's wrong, they will keep grabbing the wrong information for you. And maybe the rest of the, all the work you did is based on this wrong information you retrieved. So this is also, what issue we see. Also, we also see like asking something without within a specific domain. So this always give you a wrong answer. Like for example, we have like a C API. What is that, right? So it's very unclear for GPT. GPT will make a best guess, especially for some terms that are specific for sales. So that's will totally wrong. So I guess some solution for this for further to this example, we probably need to give very specific instruction to ask I'm to not give the answer if you're not sure. Just to say I don't know, something like that. We can put it in the system prompts, we can put in the question template, whatever. So you can do that. For the second scenario is also you can give a GPT the instruction like if the parameter is not passed, just give me a null or something like that. We have to very careful to control each of them. And the third one, so we can index documentations, especially for like some wikis, like contain specific term for something you want to know for the specific domain knowledge. For example, for sales data, right? If you index the sales wiki, so GPT will understand what is C API is, something like this will give you a very accurate answer. And the next one is mathematical capability. I guess this is a little bit surprising at the beginning. So it's thought GPT is so smart, can answer whatever question, but it's often full with very simple, math calculation. Yeah, but after you understand that, it probably makes sense, right? So there's a two ways it can fall. So one way is just simply math can fall. And also the aggregation question you ask could fall. Like for example, you have a question, if behind the scene we retrieve data with a daily basis, right? But the question you ask, what is the information for the week over week, metric? This is a very common question. GPT could fall because it's trying to aggregate data, trying to do the calculation by itself. Yeah, and the reason is actually quite simple. Is because so at least this to ask GPT why you are so bad about math. So this is give me the answer. It makes sense, right? Because it's treat the data based on the text, not the mathematical formula. So it's hard for GPT to understand what exactly you want. And if you take a deeper look, so GPT, this language model is basically like a guessing what is the next best token, right? So will occur, but have all of the previous token. So you give it to GPT. So if you are trying to guess a mathematical answer based on what you see with a number, that definitely doesn't work. It's like just you're trying to guess the answer, not calculation. So this is the primary reason why the GPT is really bad. Yeah, there's a couple of solutions for that. One thing, I have a link here. You can take a look. This is from the official website. So you can leverage a tooling call to have some simple mathematical question to offload it to tooling call, to offload it to the real programming language. For example, Python to do like this call. If you have something add together or sum together, you call this function to do it. Don't do it by yourself. So this is one way. But this is not very flexible because you don't really know, like you have to predefine all of the scenarios user want to do the calculation, but sometimes it's not possible, right? And as a second solution, this is which our team is also considered to pursue in the future, is you can generate a middle layer to handle this mathematical question. So for example, we are thinking about use the type to SQL. So basically, if you ask a question, if you have offline data, right, we can generate a SQL statement, because a SQL statement actually is pretty interesting. It's also more like a natural language style. It's not like a programming language. So from the text, from the question you ask to transfer to the SQL statement is pretty accurate actually. So GPT can understand that very well, give you, even though very complex queries, they're doing very good job. So for this one, it's more flexible because we don't have to care about how you ask aggregation, the way you ask aggregation. GPT will always transfer, not always, but very high percentage chance to transfer to correct the SQL query. And then you just run it like SQL engine to handle this aggregation and mathematical calculation. Yeah, this is at least this is something we want to pursue in the future to give it a try, see whether it can make our life a little bit easier. The next one will be random answer styles. This is also something hit us very interestingly, because even though you ask the same question multiple times, you know the GPT has a temperature, right? So, and they will answer you with very different styles. Sometimes very short, like one sentence done. Sometimes like writing a paragraph to answer your question to explain everything. Yeah, I guess this is sometimes this bad because it's unexpected. Sometimes we don't really want to a lot of data to show it to user with unnecessary information. So user also have to need time to process what exactly I want to focus on. So I guess the solution for this is like we can give the specific instruction about the response. You can, for example, tell GPT to give me the answer in a very concise style, or in one paragraph, or in 2 sentences, something like this, right? And also we can give an example about the the response format. This is very useful when you try to rely on a specific format for your answer, and then you want to keep processing it after you get the answer from GPT. We have a use case is like to label the data, and then we will rely on you give me a JSON format for some key and value you have to be exist. Then I can keep processing it with thousands of the different records, right? So this way, you can tell GPT always respond with this example. So what is the key you want? What is the value you want? The GPT will handle that very well to give you, a response with what you expected. And I guess the next one is like the token limitation. This may be not a big deal for some of the use case, but for some of the use case, maybe we have to pay attention. So we know the GPT-4 is only have a 8K limitation for the token. Yeah, I'm not sure whether you're familiar with token. It's basically like how much information you can send to GPT to ask a question. So especially if you are asking a question in a conversation style, right? You're thinking about like have a the chatbot. So every time I add a question, have an answer, this all have to be resent to the GPT in the next call, and all of them will take in the token. If you have a really long conversation that can take sometimes take quite a bit tokens, especially you have some data you fetch from backend, you have some tooling definition, something like this. So the token can be added up. So we have to pay attention to this. But the good news is that the GPT-4 Turbo and the new GPT-4o, they really have a lot of tokens. So you can use like 128,000 tokens. I feel like a majority of cases is good enough, but still good to keep in mind. So you do have this limitation. It's not like influence. You have an influence token. You can send influence data to GPT. And also the larger token, so will cost more money, that's for sure, because GPT is charge you based on how many token you use. And also it's will slow because GPT have to process all of the text you give it to him and to find answers. And long conversation may error out because if you're out of the token limitation, so you will see a error message coming out. And bounding to, I also mentioned this, bounding a big function definition may also take a lot of tokens. This is also happen in all cases. Sometimes we want to have very detailed the definition for GPT to let know when you use this function and how you form this parameter or something like this, right? So it can take quite a bit. So just keep in mind this. Some solution for this, I guess one thing like user education is definitely something we want to do. Sometimes we see from the log, okay, this one user never changed to a new conversation. If it just ask from, beginning of this month to the end of that month, whatever the question they ask, no matter whether it's related to previous conversation, they will all go to the one conversation. Yeah, so we probably want to treat users don't do that. It's bad for the token limitation situation. It's also not good for GPT to give you the best accurate answer because it will, as what I said, it will take all of your conversation in consideration, right? So sometimes it's the unrelated conversation or message will just confuse GPT. Yeah. And also we can, if we really have the use case, we need a long conversation. We can, there's some technique for that. We can consider summary the previous conversation. GPT is really good about summarization, so we can aggregate and summarize before like a long conversation to a relatively shorter paragraph or something like this. Let GPT to still have some degree of the context with what we previously talk about, but also taking a less token usage. And also the limit response length. This is also we talked about from previous slide. Some of the response is just unnecessary. GPT give you a lot of information you don't really need. You just need your data. For example, in some cases, right? So you want to give them specific instruction to just give me the data. Don't tell me something more. So you can save some tokens. Yeah. And exclude unnecessary detail is also the same with this. So it's including your response, including the the system prompts, including the the user prompts, including the function definition. All of them you can still save some tokens from that. Yeah, with this new limitation, actually, I feel like you barely probably need to do something like this, but still this is some limitation there we want to keep in mind. And the data security, yeah, we always have to talk about the data security. I guess some probably really like this topic. Yeah, but when we have the language model in the company, so it's the big thing is like how we can use it effectively but safely, right? It's not all of the data you can just send it to GPT, and it's not all of data we want to generate with GPT. Yeah, for example, like the sensitive data, PII data, some restricted data, something like this, we definitely don't want to give it to GPT. We do have a agreement with GPT, like GPT will not use or Pinterest specific data to train their model, but we still have this, keep this in mind. If anything, we want to use specifically with users data, we have to really be careful whether we necessary to send it to over the network, go to the GPT. And also the data with specific EU users have to be pay more attention, because EU do have more strict privacy law. So for all use case for now, we just suspend all of the use case for EU users. Just don't do that until we figure out what we can do, share with GPT, what we cannot. And also this, I mentioned this a little bit, like using user-facing data from the generation. This is sometimes it's like surprising. Yeah, we learned this from the hard way. It's just happened like a couple of days ago. I guess this incident happened. What we did is not my team, but what other team is doing, like use the GPT or language model to describe a pin image, and then generate a better pin description or title, because sometimes user upload the image as a pin, but they don't really have a really nice title or description. So this is really hard for searching, right? So you don't really have text to search what is it. You need to do the visual search or something like that. So the idea is really nice. So you generate all of the the title or description and then save it, and when user search it, we have a search signal, and also we can show what this pin is to user. But the incident happened. The issue is we also generate the title and description with some pin with human on it. So you can imagine this is a perfect case to get something wrong, right? If, like, for example, you describe some person with a really bad word. So yeah, you can imagine that. That's a big instance happen this. Yeah, so this is also, we are surprising, okay, this can go like this way. We are also learning when we're trying to do something with the Gen AI. I guess the solution is like just be mindful to think about twice if you want to send data to to the language model. Is this really you can do that? Is this if your company has a legal team, at least from my perspective, always consulting with them. So this is okay to ask them more. Then later you feel sorry, right? So you causing them. So for my case, it's always send the full list. Like, okay, this is what we want to use. This is the way how we want to use it. This is the design. What do you think? Yeah, tell me, is this okay or something you feel like is risky? We can talk about how we mitigate that before we even do it. Yeah. especially I feel like for if your company is using the GPT, like just using the normal endpoint without any agreement with GPT, with those kind of Gen AI company. So you probably don't really have protection of whether they will use their data to train their model. You have to pay extra attention for that. Yeah, I guess that's all learning. So I feel like this is a lot of things actually from different details. Yeah, any questions or whatever unclear you want me to clarify?
Hey Kevin, I have a question. Do you guys use like a RAG application to deal with hallucination?
Use a RAG, RAG, right?
Yeah, it's a retrieval augmented generation.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, we do. So all of the function call now we are moving to a RAG agent to do that. But the hallucination actually is sorry, let me switch back. Yeah, so hallucination is actually not only come from the information we retrieve is not accurate, it's also from other perspective, like the GPT could misunderstand what you're asking, right? And this is one step. And this is the first step. And second step, the GPT, when they answer the question, this part also can get something wrong. So there's a multiple part hallucination can happen. This is for the data side. For the knowledge base, like what I mentioned, for the specific domain knowledge, this hallucination is just hilarious. So because the GPT doesn't really know, like for example, inside of Pinterest, we may have some specific term for sales. GPT just no way he can know. He just try to buy something. So yeah, this RAG won't help with this.
Yeah, probably need an LLM that's like trained in that domain ads, domain sales, right?
Yeah, we unfortunately we did not pay for the self-training model. So what we do, yeah, we index them and then we go from there. It's also fine. Yeah, it's also a good approach for doing that.
And another quick question, maybe it would sideline a bit, like how does Pinterest do with their ML ops, right?
I'm a good question, but I'm not a machine learning engineer. Yeah, I'm not really sure, but we do have a lot of machine learning engineers. So each org or each team, they probably own their own model. So they trade own model. So my work specifically did is for IIM, but they also have a lot of different model, like for example, to distinguish different pins, getting the signal from pins, from searchings, something like that. But yeah, I'm not really in that team. I don't really know how they opt for that.
Got it. Thank you, Kevin.
Yeah, no problem. Any other questions? Not necessary for the presentation. I feel like the presentation just wanted something to share with you guys.
There's Juan. Go ahead, Juan. You got first.
Thank you. Thank you. Kevin, thanks for sharing. So are you considering use, for example, Verbum Alpha, a language learning model to use for mathematical issues? I made some comparison between, for example, Copilot. I think Gemini. It's very, very bad for mathematical issues also. But I don't know if you have any experience with Verbum Alpha application or something like that.
Yeah, I did not actually. So if you don't mind, could you share the information with me so I can take a look? That will be a interesting approach. Yeah, I'm the mathematical capability is too bad.
Okay, I'm going to share you some because Verbum Alpha is amazing. It's an amazing site for mathematical helping. Okay.
Yeah.
Can you also share that in the chat, Juan, for us as well? And before we go to Sam,
sure.
a quick confirmation, Kevin. From what I understand in your presentation, the way you work around with this mathematical, problems is using SQL queries directly for the aggregate, so that because they can easily understand that, right?
Yeah. This is not perfect because we can now let GPT to access our online data. So because they separate in the different databases, it's really hard to have one gateway to access all of them. I also have security issue. Right? Let's think about the once you basically have to open a big hole to let some endpoint to execute whatever the the SQL query is. So that's definitely a no-no. So what we do is we have to run this with offline data, so which we have to compromise the speed for this. Yeah, running the text-to-SQL not only for the mathematical capabilities, also for the flexibility. If you think the way you ask a question for, you have to call a function, right? You need to build that function has that capability. For example, you can take ID. The next question you ask has a start and end day. You need to redo your endpoint to add that capability in. But the with this the conversation, you never know what the user is asking. So they may ask that, they may not. They may ask 10 different parameters needed. So we never know. So it's really hard for us to catch it up. So with the text-to-SQL, we have offline data, aggregate database, have a really big long table, so have a lot of different columns there. So the GPT can generate the SQL query based on what you needed and to take from different columns. We don't have to change that all the time.
Okay, now looks like my turn. Yes, Kevin, thank you for your presentation. When you came here, CDU, when you searched at that times, our keyword was what? Cloud computing and DevOps and serverless computing. Then now we can hear a lot about AI. Because of that, my school program, I want to have a market advantage by producing AI engineer. So my definition of AI engineer is a software engineer who understand machine learning and also understand operations. So in terms of that, my school, now we are changing the gear. So what is your observation in the market? Now, a lot of we heard a layoff or downsizing or hiring, but still they are looking for the AI engineer. So what kind of the feedbacks or you can say experience with our student who want to get into the job market?
Yeah, that's a really good question. From my observation, so the machine learning engineer is always, have in the higher pay range. So for Pinterest at least, so we have software engineers, one job family, and MLE, machine learning engineers, and other job family. Their pay rate is the same level. Their pay rate is higher, not a lot, but it's still higher. And then a lot of opening, that's for sure. And the AI engineer is a machine learning engineer is pretty interesting term because I feel like sometimes we are confusing about this. So the AI we're talking about it probably is a bigger term of a lot of things, right? And this kind of like artificial intelligence. But the machine learning is probably just one specific domain inside of AI. Yeah, I'm not really sure like which way the school want to pursue. Yeah, I do encourage we have some at least have a basic understanding of this, right? I will not consider myself as a machine learning or AI engineer because what I do is just I'm not building the model. I'm not training the model. I'm not really good about that. What I do is you have the model, you have the product, but you also need some people to leverage that, to use that to build product, right? Otherwise, you only have a shiny model there. You tell me you can produce this signal, that signal, it doesn't work. We need some people to leverage them to build a product, like to really boost the productivity to your user, to your internal user, whatever. Yeah, I feel like the machine learning engineer specifically probably need more knowledge about the math, about the like how those models working. Yeah, probably for me at least, it's have some learning curve for sure. But if you understand that, that's probably really valuable. Even though you are not doing that as a primary work, still valuable to have that skill.
Yes, I can give it a one examples. Now, when this is also we are experimenting. Also, now I'm currently teaching doctoral program. So idea is that traditionally, okay, let's just have the mobile app. So we use the React Native or full stack, and then we are using to this one in the cloud. We are using GitHub code spaces, and then deploy to the Amazon, something like that. Plus, of course, then we understand security. But now, let's say our student also know how to talk to another machine learning API server. It's like you, we don't have to be expert in designing the model, but somebody has the model, but they have to put those things into our system. So I'm thinking what you are saying, you are doing this one. How those kind of expertise is it market demanding? That part, how about your observation? Yeah.
I feel like it's a lot. This one we talk about the AI product, but it's actually not too much difference with normal SDE work because it still leverage your experience with the system design, how you leverage different functionalities, right? So yeah, I feel like the market is still hot for this because a lot of companies are trying to now we have this shiny thing here, how we can use it, right? So and then they try to leverage the GPT or language model or whatever model they have to really bring the value to the company. So yeah, I feel that the job market is it's not too much actually different with software engineer, but if you did do some project like this have related to AI and leverage AI to be something very shiny. So that's probably really good on your resume. Yeah. For my company, my team is currently hiring some engineer with some this kind of experience.
Okay, thank you. Yes, Kina, now your turn. Control the discussion. Yes.
Hi, anyone have any question to Kevin?
Yeah, I feel like Sam is always taking challenge.
Ah,
Yeah.
If you have that class, I will go to retake it. That's good.
okay, now that you are the alumni, okay, so I know so many of our students, they are looking for their career after graduation. So what kind of advice do you want to share with our student? So they are looking for the now tough job market.
Yeah, that's a good question. Unfortunately, I don't want to disappoint you guys, but the job market everybody can see is not like as hard as before. Especially it's unfriendly for graduate student just graduated from school. But I did see a lot of cases from my friends. They did get offer from a big company, so that's really encouraging. So what I see the successful story they did is leave code, right? So that's necessary. Fund the good company for your intern. So do the summer intern with a good company, and also do some project if you can. Yeah, that's also will help you on your resume. So yeah, I feel like even though the job market is not that hard as before, but you can expect if you hold down those three very well, you probably can still get some good offers. Yeah. I feel like if you study with some, probably you are good about to making some project. I guess some will make you to make it. So and then what you have to do is like the algorithm, like the data structure and the algorithm. So you have to be good of this because when you just graduate from school, there's not too much thing they can test you. So the data structure and algorithm will be a primary metric you want to see.
So now when you joined the market, that times AI was not tough at all. So how did you do that? I know you are doing a lot of self-study, how you were exposed to the AI world.
Yeah, it's just a very natural, I guess, because I guess for a software engineer, so you have to keep yourself to keep learning. Otherwise, I don't know other people how they feel it, but for me, if like a month or 2 months is I'm just doing some same work. I feel like there's no new technology or information I get it. I feel like scary. I feel like well, this is someday, do they still need me or something like that? So I guess if you have this curiosity, so you will just very naturally keep, going. If there is something new, you just want to give it a try, right? And then you give it a try, you have a good idea, and then you can bring some, idea to your team and give it a try. This is working very well with my team at least. So what we have is we have something called hunch-driven project. You basically can spend some of your working time. You can propose some project, right? and then you can use your working time to working on the project under the experiment maybe. So this is a lot of the Gen AI stuff. I propose like an undriven project and I just give it a try. And with this case, this is a best scenario if you think about it. So basically, your company pay you to do something you want to do, and also you can learn the new technology. Yeah, so just use whatever resources you have to keep curiosity and then learn some new things. This is a win-win situation, right? It's not like I learn something, there's nothing to give back to the company. Company also get benefit from the product I build with the new technology. Yeah. Just keep curiosity. Yeah, you'll be fine. You are on mute.
Majon always put into the intellectual curiosity is one of their interview topic. Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess your curiosity and excitement also can be transferred to interviewer very well. At least when I do the interview, I can see some folks they're really curious about what you are doing, right? What I can do in the future, something like that. At least I feel very good. Maybe different interviewer has different view of this, but yeah, normally if they have this kind of attitude, I will have a plus for them.
Okay. I think it's a time to close. Yes. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, thank you, Kevin. Thank you, everyone, to be here today. It's a great talk, and I'm so so I gained a lot lesson from you. Yeah, and thank you, Kevin. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah,
Kevin, thank you. Thank you
Yeah.
so
Thanks,
much.
Kevin.
Thank you so much, Kevin.
Let's
Yeah.
have
Thank
lunch
you.
one time.
Bye.
Great
Bye.
to meet you.
Bye.
Bye, bye, everyone.